Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and I'm really upset, man. I'm fired up. I'm pissed off. And I think the main reason behind all of that is because your Seattle Seahawks just lost to the Los Angeles Rams by 2 points, and at no point should you have ever lost this game. You didn't deserve to be in it. You made multiple mistakes, or at least had one key player make multiple mistakes for you. And at the end of the day, you are still kicking a field goal with an opportunity to win this game. It's incredibly disappointing. And unfortunately, it seems like when you play any of these big games, they continue to pop up. The disappointing end of games. When you played the 49ers, it was right there and you let it go. Disappointing end. When you played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it was right there and you let it go. You didn't get the win. And again, you play the Rams and it was right there and you let it go. You didn't get the win. I'm disappointed and I'm frustrated. I know I'm kind of cheating. Those are my one-word reactions to this game. You might say that isn't fair. Will, you have to pick one. So my one-word reaction to this game is going to be disappointing. What is your one-word reaction to the end of this game for your Seattle Seahawks? Let me know down below in the comments. I mean, shoot. There's got to be a lot of one-word responses that I think some people are going to have, and probably a couple of them that have 4 letters in them. Let me know down below in the comments. All right, key takeaway for your Seattle Seahawks, number 1. You started off way too slow in this game. I mean, shoot, the only real damage that the Rams did, other than start with easy field position, was at the beginning of the game. You had such a slow start to stopping Kyren Williams. Your defense was on the field for almost 11, 12 minutes of that first quarter, and that led to Kyren Williams. Here's his full game stat line. This is his full game stat line. 12 carries, 91 rush yards, and a touchdown. He had 80 of them in the first quarter. 80 rushing yards in the first quarter. He was averaging over 12 yards a carry. It's absolutely ridiculous that you allowed this to happen. It's ridiculous that the Seahawks offense did not do more. The slow start of the offense affected the defense because the defense played really well. In fact, I'll say this right now. As much as there's negative coming out about this game, you have a Super Bowl winning defense. That defense is good enough to win you a Super Bowl. But you were forced to have them out on the field for so long, and it's not fair to do that to them. I mean, shoot. There were 2 third down conversions. I think they were both in the first quarter for the Rams. You started out too slow, and offensively, a big key turnover from Sam Darnold was a gigantic push there. I think another reason why this team really struggled when it comes to this offense is specifically what you were doing on your third downs. I thought that, frankly, you needed to do more. You needed to push forward more. You needed to give yourself easier opportunities on third down. You saw the Seahawks start to convert more on third when they were running the football with Charbonnet, when they were running the football with Kenneth Walker, even Rashid Shaheed in the backfield. When you were running the football, keeping yourself on time, on schedule, you didn't have an issue getting third downs. You had a really big issue getting third downs early in this game because you kept forcing yourself to have these long third down conversions. I mean, look at Kenneth Walker's game. That's not bad. I'm not upset with the performance that he has in this one. He got into the end zone for you. But more importantly is that rush per average right there. 4.2 yards a carry. That's a pretty darn good clip. He was able to get to the outside on a lot of runs. He was also able to run in between the tackles. I thought Kenneth Walker had a pretty darn good game. You go to Zach Charbonnet, I think that he had a good game as well. Now, his rush per average a little bit lower. Guess what? He's more of your short yardage back. And he was earning all the yards that he got for this team. Yeah, 3.4 is a pretty darn good clip for him because he has to go through more. He has to fight through more. Your third downs just struggled early. Now, it got fixed a little bit later on, but early on in this game, the third down woes contributed to that slow start. But the most important reason why you lost this game, the number one reason, is this. I don't know how to phrase this any other way. Sam Darnold sucked today. He was not good. he was not the quarterback that you were talking about as a potential MVP candidate. Yeah, he's got a decent completion percentage. Yeah, his yards are decent in this game. He threw 4 interceptions and 0 touchdowns. I think what's most important on those 4 interceptions, most of them were stupid decisions. I understand that you have a guy in your face and your offensive line. Hey, man, there were a couple of them. One in particular, I think the second Kitchens interception, if I remember correctly. Yeah, the defensive line got right in your face as you were throwing. You weren't able to step into your throw. Led to an interception. But multiple times in this one, the throw to Cooper Kupp, what are you doing? Why would you throw that football when he was blanket coverage? It was an easy step over for the linebacker. The interception trying to throw the football to Elijah Arroyo. I understand that Elijah Arroyo wasn't necessarily where he needed to be. I get it. He was easily covered, and the throw with the safety sitting there, stupid. Your quarterback let you down in this game. Now, I'm not saying that he can't come back to what he was early on. I mean, shoot. If anyone needs a get-right game, it's Sam Darnold. You can have that against the Tennessee Titans. They suck. They're horrible. But Sam Darnold looked really bad in this one. He's the reason why you lost this game. And it's incredibly frustrating as a Seahawks fan. I'm going to dive a little bit more into the Rams offense and the Seahawks offensive stats. But before I do that, I need to let you know about the sponsor of today's video, and that's our good friends over at PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if your picks are right, you can cash in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. I had a little 3-pick power play for the action today. JSN more on his rush plus receiving TDs. Matt Stafford less on his pass yards. Ding. Sam Darnold more on his pass yards. Ding. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. So, we've got the Seahawks' entire offensive game plan here, and when you look at the total yardage, 414 yards, I mean, the passing yardage is incredible right there, especially against a really good Rams defense, but I think what's most important is that rushing attack. I told you going into this game, if you ran for 100 yards, you were going to have a good opportunity to win this game. And despite all of the interceptions, despite all of the turnovers that Sam Darnold had today, you were in this game. And when you started running the football at the end of the game, that's when this offense looked its best. That's when Sam Darnold calmed down a little bit, and you just kept chugging along. 3rd and 3 is a lot easier to get than 3rd and 8. I was impressed with basically everyone on this offense except for one person. And I hate to keep beating that dead horse, but your quarterback needed to do more in this one. You did enough offensively, aside from the turnovers, to win this game. Mike McDonald is going to go back home later on today and watch this film, or maybe tomorrow morning, and he's just going to have his blood boil, and he's going to get a red face, because there's no reason why you should have lost this game and let an opportunity go to waste like this. You had an opportunity not only to take sole possession of the NFC West, but there's a chance at the end of the day you would have been the number 1 team in the NFC. Now you don't have it. Now you're not going to be there. It's frustrating. Look at what the Rams did. That's a pretty darn good offense. I don't know if you know this. Matt Stafford's been carving people apart. They couldn't convert a 3rd down after the first quarter. They had basically all their rushing yards in the first quarter. 80 of them. 80 of them in that first quarter. They had, 40 the rest of the way? 39? You shut them down. Matt Stafford couldn't throw the ball. You were getting pressure on him. Now, you didn't have a ton of sacks, but you're getting pressure all over the place. Uchenna Nwosu needs more respect because that guy played with his hair on fire, and he was a really freaking good player in this one. He was a really freaking good player in this game. You need more of that type of performance from your top players. I think when I look at this game at the end of the day, I think what's most important to notice or to talk about as a Seahawks fan is that when you look at that 21-19 score, remember, You had 4 turnovers in this game. Most teams lose games when they have 2 turnovers. You had 4 and you were still in it. Most teams get blown out if they have 3. You had 4 turnovers in this ball game. 4 of them. And you were still in it. That's because your defense went in and shut down one of the best offenses in the NFL. 13 personnel, you figured it out after the first quarter. Sean McVay, the guy that you brought Mike McDonald in to stifle, aside from the first quarter, you did. And honestly, most of the touchdowns only got scored because there was short field set up for them. You have a great defense, a defense that's capable of winning a Super Bowl. You need your quarterback to play like it, and he has for most of the year. Hopefully this was just a blip on the radar, and we have to keep our fingers crossed about Gray Zabel, because right now that injury did not look good, and he's been a key cog in what you've been doing. Great, the Seahawks performance. After watching that game, after giving yourself maybe a beat to think about it, where do you think the Seahawks performed? How do you think they did? Honestly, as a team, I'd probably say B-, B. But if you're talking about Sam Darnold, F++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++++ one guy, honestly, and his performance really put you in a tough spot in this one. Doesn't mean he can't come back. Doesn't mean he can't figure it out. But right now, one guy killed you in this one. And that's what's so frustrating. Get down in the chat. Let me know. A through F, how'd the Seahawks perform? Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today. I'm sorry it was more of a downer. I'm sorry it was more of a frustrated performance in this postgame show from myself. But that's where I'm at with the Seahawks. Should have won this game. You should have frickin' won this game, and that's so frustrating. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, though. I'll be happier once I get the sour taste of this game out of my mouth. I got Seahawks content coming out every single day you do not want to miss. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next time.